Hello and welcome to another Dave the Diver video. Today I'll be looking at the 3 new dishes you unlock from the Godzilla DLC and where they stand in the ranking of total dishes. Now, I'm not going to do a full menu update here because there's only 3 dishes that have been added, so it's not really like much has changed. Especially considering the power level of these dishes. To be honest, these dishes, not that great. So the 3 dishes you unlock are these 3 here. Now, in terms of price, you can see they're quite low down. They don't even hit like the high end of the prices. Like they only really come in when you start getting more expensive dishes. Yeah, sure, they're over 1,000, but they're not really near the level where most of the other dishes are. Like if I'm scrolling upwards, there's so many dishes above than that. It's like, yeah, these are just purely better options at most times. Now don't get me wrong, I do like how the dishes look. Like you can see here, the dishes have a very stylized theme to them, but at the same time they aren't really anything special in that sense. Now, one thing to look at is they do cover like 3 parties, I think. For example, this dish here does cover the jellyfish party, and yeah, that's pretty alright in that sense. Like, in terms of jellyfish dishes, it is the second most powerful one. Like, that's the most powerful one. This is actually the second most powerful. You know, it only uses comb, jelly, seaweed, and miso, which is pretty easy to obtain. So, overall, you know, this dish isn't bad, but at the same time, it's not really like it's something that you're gonna really be using often at all. And also it also has 6 servings only, so yeah, that's kind of a thing. This also has 6 servings, so I mean you can't really complain because it's a jellyfish dish and most of them have like a low amount of servings. But yeah, there's actually literally only like 3 compound jellyfish dishes, and both of them have like, both the ones with actually more than 1 serving only have 6 servings, so you're not going to be. So you know, that's pretty par for the course, to be honest. So I'll give this one a pass, considering it also unlocks at the end of like chapter 5 or sometime after chapter 5 or in chapter 5. So you know, it's not exactly like there's going to be many. It's still relatively early game, or no, it's mid game really, but it's not end game level of stuff. That's the thing. That's the main point I'm trying to get at with this. It's like you unlock it quite a bit before the end game, on the way to the end game. So you know, it's supposed to be a mid-powered level dish. It's not supposed to be overpowered, and that's the same for all 3 of these really. They all come at the same time. It's all like after one singular quest that unlocks at one day during like sometime in chapter 5 or 6. I think it was chapter 5, so yeah, it's literally just a case of that there's one event and you do the one event and you get these 3 dishes. So by that logic, these dishes are pretty alright in the sense like they give them to you for free basically. Of course, these are upgraded to level 10, so there's a bit more of a discrepancy there, but yeah, overall. So looking at the jellyfish one first, mainly because it was marked with a jellyfish on this current save file. Yeah, it's fine. It's not the best, but at the same time, it's given to you for free basically. You unlock it for like free. You don't need to research it either, so it's just on the menu. And there's a Bira chasing sashimi. Now this one is the lowest selling of all the dishes. It's got 9 servings, and you know it needs barrel eye and California spiny lobster, and also sea grapes. Now barrel eyes are quite easy to get. Sea grapes are kind of annoying with the limestone cave, but you can grow them at the seaweed farm. You know, seaweed, like these are underwater plants. And then like the California spiny lobster is like, yeah, from lobster rocks in the medium depths at daytime. Now, lobsters can be quite annoying to get because, well, yeah, you just have to get, like, you don't have access to lobsters till quite late game, like at least till the glacial area. So it's not exactly like it's going to be useful anytime. Like when you get to the glacial area, you're pretty much almost done with the game, and at that point, you know, unlocking lobsters at that point, you kind of don't. It's kind of also outclassed by a bunch of other lobster dishes, like, you know, this crystal lobster roll. Again, another 9-serving dish, easily outclasses it. Let's see what other lobster dishes we might have. Certified habanero lobster, like that's a 6-portion dish, but it has like way more on price. Let's see what else we can get. I mean, this lobster platter is way higher on price, but it's only like 6 servings. But again, like the thing about it is, when looking at that, and also there's this blue lobster thing with 2 servings that is also really high price. But the main point there, looking back at that, is that this lobster dish is clearly outclassed by other lobster dishes. Like, it's got a high taste, but we'll get into the taste later. As far as pricing goes and ingredients goes, you know, it hasn't really got much going for it in that sense. That's all I can really say about that. Like, especially considering, like, yeah, some of these are easier to get, I'd figure, but I don't really know. There's Godzilla vs. Abira Curry. And this one's actually the best dish in the DLC. Not only in like price, but in the terms of ingredients you need to get. This one's actually really good. Like, it only needs European lobster moray eel, turmeric, and olive oil. Now, if you're farming moray eels, and you know, you get some European lobsters, you're probably alright on this dish. Like, the issue is lobsters are quite slow to multiply, but again, like, the turmeric and olive oil just come for free when dispatching, basically. Like, as long as you have an employee to dispatch for them, you're good. So really the main limiting factor is how much moray eels you have breeding, or how many moray eels you have breeding, and if you have European lobsters breeding and whatnot. You know, it's not the best dish, but by the looks of it, it is actually a really good one, in the sense of, like, it's not going to be difficult to make. You get given it for free, so if you can level it up, like, yeah, sure, it's not the best money, but 1,369 isn't anything to, like, necessarily sneeze at. Like, yeah, still a good dish. Like, you know, you can level up pretty fast. Like, in my stream when I was playing through this, I was able, like, I mean, yeah, my save file here is not a good example, in a sense of, like, yeah, it has tons of everything, but I was able to get to this max level 10 straight away. Like, just literally go to the restaurant and level it up, sort of thing, right? Where these other two I did actually have to farm for quite a bit. And, you know, I was actually farming the lobsters and the comb jelly as well as the sea grapes and the seaweed on these ones, so you can tell by how low the ingredients are here. Whereas this one, I didn't actually have to farm for at the time. So, well, again, yeah, the lobster is a bit late game, as you have to have the glacial area unlocked to get the lobster trap unlocked, but at the same time, if you're farming the 2 fish and you have people to dispatch, this one can level up really fast. And at that point, like, you know, this might be like a good bridge to get some money. Like, if you're struggling with money in, like, the late game and you haven't quite finished the game yet, you haven't got any good dishes, this one might be the one to go for. Because, yeah, my recent playthrough, well, actually I'll be making a guide on that, like, I think tomorrow that'll be like that, but whatever, right? We'll keep this video as itself, so I'm not really going to talk about that. But like, you know, my other playthrough that I've done recently, you know, I would say, yeah, the crimson fish roll is a prime example of a really good dish. Like, this is like the gold standard, like, or the diamond standard, really, I'd say. This is like the top tier, basically. You cannot get better than this. But the problem with this is it needs a level 15 employee, and a level 15 employee is actually really expensive. And yeah, it is possible to get a level 15 employee before the end of the game. It's not exactly like it's something that is easy to do. Like, you need to go for quite a strong setup from the very beginning to even have a shot at it, really. Like, if you don't have that strong setup to begin with, you're not going to get like the 50 grand that it needs to level up to a level 15 employee. It's just not going to happen. Like, even if you like, especially if you're doing all the objectives as fast as possible, like all the main quests, like, it is possible, don't get me wrong, like I've done it in my playthrough, but at the same time, you know, this is not something that's easy to reach, whereas this is unlocked for free. Like, you just do a quest and it's there. So in that sense, it's a good dish. Not only that, but for the lobster party and curry party, it's a boosted dish. So again, if you run into either of them in your game, and you still haven't finished the game, but you run into those, this dish is going to help you out at that time as well. Like, although yeah, it's outclassed by other lobster dishes and other curry dishes, so you can get better ones. If you don't have the better ones, and you know, you're quite low on the menu, like, you know, you haven't got many good meals, this one is going to help you out quite a lot, I reckon. Like, so it may not look like much, and it's not the end game levels of stuff, but I reckon it's a good strong mid game one, because, like, you know, you unlock it for free, you can level it up fairly easily. Yeah, it's not the, like, yeah, getting 115 moray eels or European lobsters from level 9 to 10 is pretty tough, but when you consider like the first 4 levels are really easy, in my opinion, on a bunch of dishes. Like, getting a dish to level 4 is not difficult and can make quite a big impact. Getting a dish to level 6 or 7 is slightly more difficult, but it's doable quite easily. And getting a dish from level 7 to 10, that is where the main slog is, really. Like, that's the main drag, right? So, you know, a mid-level, like, you know, level 4, level 6 version of this dish might not be bad in, like, the mid-game if you're needing the dish to get money for. And again, like, boosted by the curry party or the lobster party, you're going to be making more money from that dish on those specific nights. So this is actually quite a good dish, in my opinion, despite the fact it doesn't look like it in this menu because it's all completely maxed out. So, you know, this is a better, more balanced assessment of the dish than that dish beforehand, where I was all like, yeah, these dishes are the best, without really considering where you get the ingredients from, where you get the dish from, how the dish is unlocked, how easy it is to level up, what levels, like, you know, are significant. Like, also, this being a 9-portion dish, it probably starts out somewhere like 6 or 7 portions, or probably 6 portions, but you can get to like 7. By the time you get to like level 4, you should be at least 7 portion on the dish, which is a good thing. But yeah, like, again, this, actually, this crystal lobster roll is actually the same level as it, so funnily enough, this dish is immediately outclassed by this dish. Like, no joke. But anyway, not the point. Like, so if I'm looking at other lobster dishes, we've already been through them earlier. So, you know, this might actually be the best 9-serving lobster dish. Yeah, I'd say so. Although it doesn't look like it. Like, I mean, at first look glance, it's like, crystal lobster roll's higher on the list. Really, when I think about it, rice and bladder wrack is going to be harder to get than turmeric, olive oil, and olive oil compared to like the, you know, you're getting a lobster anyway, so lobsters are lobsters. So This is the best 9-serving dish, but again, like you always have this Norway lobster dish up here, and this lobster platter, which is the one that you really should be doing if you can. But again, they're both 6 servings, so depending on if you want to do a 6-serving dish or a 9-serving dish, you know, this 9-serving dish is pretty good. It's even got a higher taste than the crystal lobster roll by 60, so it's actually better than I first thought. Like, at first I thought, nah, these dishes are nothing special, but this one's actually decent. And again, this one's decent for jellyfish party if you don't have good jellyfish dishes, which chances are you don't unless you unlock seasoned jellyfish. Yeah, you're not going to have much health otherwise, so this is actually a pretty good one. Especially considering it outclasses that, which is the 3rd highest jellyfish dish, which, let's be real, having a 1-serving dish is not ideal, like in any stretch of the usage for it. So except like 45 sea grapes on a busy night, you're not going to want to do that. Like, you're really not. I think this one's the only one that's really a letdown, all things considered, because this one just immediately outclasses it. So yeah, 2 of the 3 dishes are actually really decent in that sense. Like this one's a niche dish for the jellyfish party if you're not quite at the end game yet, where you have the seasoned jellyfish. But this one's also a niche dish for the lobster party, and also just a solid earner. Like if you're in the mid game, like completed the Godzilla DLC, and now you're trapping lobsters, this is going to be a solid earner for you. Yeah, I mean, assuming you don't have anything better at the time. Now I'm going to look by taste, right? Because I think it's important to look at taste. Now let me find a specific point here, right? Let's see, so here we are, lobster platter. That's a specific point that I'm looking at, right? Where this and everything above it can unlock you the diamond rank cookster, whereas everything below it cannot, right? So here, like, we have like some other standard dishes and all that, like, you know, standard like stuff that you could probably just level up if you really wanted to, easy enough. That one's actually surprising to me, but I'll get into that one. Like, that one's actually something I want to talk about, and again, I'll be talking about it in tomorrow's video. But again, you know, I'm gonna try keeping this independent. So but yeah, as you can see here, this Abira chasing sashimi actually does get you into like the diamond cookster rank if you have it upgraded. And again, like, you can see some of the other dishes here. It's actually quite interesting. Look at some of these dishes. Like, some of these dishes are interesting to make, and some of these are quite basic as well. But yeah. Now, the higher up in the list they are, the less, like, the easier it is to get into a high cookster rank with them, I guess. But yeah, here's a deep sea kaiju ramen. Now, this one also gets you into the diamond cookster rank, and it probably gets you in a bit earlier. It might not. I don't really remember, to be honest, what the tastes were at the lower levels. So, but again, like, you know, this is actually, as far as diamond cookster goes, you know, that's a doable thing. But again, like, as you're probably looking at it, like, it's probably easier to go for something like a WAP tier field ennis if you're not, like, if you can catch tons of them, actually. You know, that's actually probably the best one to go for, come to think of it. Or maybe like a hammerhead shark, or fresher shark, or poor beagle shark, or narwhal, or maybe Dunkeophusis or Xenocanthus. Maybe something easy to go for, like The sea dragons, not so much. Maybe the sea dragons, but they're kind of difficult to find in like bulk quantities. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a new high. Like that dish is. This dish here is actually like insanely good, but that's another story. Like the thing about that is, out of the price, it's one of the highest priced dishes, and out of the taste, it is the highest taste dishes. Like, you know, this is joint with a lobster platter basically, but it's got like a much higher taste. So that one's ridiculous, but that's not the point. The main point is about the Godzilla dishes, and of them, they're actually, it's actually a fairly decent addition to your menu. Like, even if you're not like going to upgrade your menu to like the level it is seen here, because I would not recommend it. Honestly, it's boring to get everything to max level. I can't stress this enough. Like, it gets so ridiculously boring, but not the point. Like, you can probably tell that by just looking at it, but not the point. Like, if you're just playing through the game, you know, unlocking these at chapter 5, you know, these are actually fairly decent dishes. Like, you know, if you have a jellyfish party, that's good. If you have like a lobster party or a curry party, that's good. If you just need general money, that's good. Like, you haven't got to worry about a bunch of different stuff. Like, it's really just that simple. You straight up get like the a good dish to be able to upgrade. Like, and also this dish looks really cool. Like, you can see like the moray eel is fashioned to look like Godzilla, and the lobster's fashioned to look like a bearer, and they're fighting, and that's what it's supposed to look like. And that's an interesting thing about, like, you know, they put in a curry sauce. Like, you know, the Godzilla's fried. You know, they've both been fried, so that's what the olive oil's for. The turmeric is to make the sauce. Then, yeah, you can see both the sea creatures there. Yeah, that is it for this video. I think I just talked about the position of these things on the menu. Now, as I said, just in summary, they're not end game items. They're not exactly particularly great items, but in the end game. But, like, you know, this one has its use in Jellyfish Party. This one has its use in quite a lot of situations, like if you're just unlocking it. But yeah, I'll be going over something else, like some more menu stuff, in tomorrow's video. But I mean, I shouldn't really say that, because, you know, you could be watching this whenever, like weeks or years in the future, or not years, but months, maybe years, who knows. Point being is, you could be watching this in the future, and it's like, what is tomorrow's video? You have tons of video released every day. Like, what do you mean tomorrow's video? Well, I mean, the next video that will be released after this, so like, you know, the May 26th video, May 26th, 2024 video, that's going to be like regarding some other stuff I found out about the menu. But either way, point being is, yeah, this Godzilla DLC adding these dishes, like, they're pretty much the only thing that gets added permanently. I mean, yeah, you do get like a figurine, but that's we've already talked about that in yesterday's video. I mean, oh man, I'm doing a terrible job of keeping like this video not way to time date the video. Not the point. Like, so yeah, they have the Godzilla figurine as a permanent fixture if you can do the side quest that comes after it, but the only other really permanent fixture is these 3 dishes that I was talking about here, where, yeah, they have like the Godzilla theme to them. But other than that, like, you literally have nothing else. Nothing else is oh, also the Kaiju Codex. Yeah, other than those 3 things, there are like no other permanent features in this DLC. So yeah, like, once you got them, you just have them, sort of thing, and that's it. But anyway, that's about it for this video and this guide. I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll hope you all have a good day.